All right, so we just got back a little while ago from our little vacation out of town or whatever. And so while I was out of town, of course, I had to meet up with one of my buddies who these headers, I had sold them to him for his round body Z71. I don't know how long ago it was. Whenever I went and got that 6L90 for the Caprice, he was looking for a set of headers, and I was like, well, yeah, I got these. So I sold them to him, and then he never used them, and I begged for them back from him. So he sold them back to me, luckily, for what I paid for them, and was able to get them on here. They're 1 7/8 long tubes from Speed Engineering, I believe, or Speed, the cheap ones, not the, well, they used to be cheap. Now they're, I looked the other day, and the headers were like $300 something, and then the Y pipe and everything, it was over $500. So they've come up in price. I found some local, a kid was selling them for like $200, but you know how Marketplace works. I messaged him, and then several days later he messaged back, and I'd forgotten that because I was going to go get them right then, had money in hand, and was going to go get them and all that stuff. And he was like, yes, are you still interested? And I said, no, not at this point, because, I was over that way and could have easily swung by and grabbed them. So, anyway, but it runs. It won't stay running because I don't have I gotta drill a hole for the throttle cable there, and then get the throttle linkage hooked up. While I was gone, my regulator came in, so I just put a coupling from the feed line to there, put a little 90 and a straight to there, and then did a little 90 and straight into the return there. And then they come with liquid filled gauges, but I don't trust their reading. So what I do is I put one of my gauges on here and put it up so I can see through the windshield, and then turn the key on and keep tightening it until it gets to pressure. Because in that way, when it's not running, you don't have to worry about vacuum and all that. If you turn it on and just watch the gauge and set it that way, then you don't have to worry about your vacuum reference unhooking it, which I'm going to leave it unhooked on this one anyway, because it doesn't need it. So I do have to hook up the brake booster. There's still plenty left to do. I just wanted to get it running, and it's a nice feeling to get it in another vehicle, wire everything up, double check everything, and then make sure it cranks up and runs. And it is uncapped, so it's kind of loud. But I was wondering, because Michael put a fuel pump in it, and I was like, man, I wonder if he drained all the gas out of it, and this thing's gonna be on empty or whatever. And as soon as I hooked the battery up, the key was on inside the truck, so the steering wheel would be unlocked, and I hadn't finished tightening up the fuel lines, and I could smell it. It's dead gas, old gas. So I didn't think to look at the gauge. Hopefully excuse me, hopefully there's not a whole lot in there, but I'll put some fresh in the tank. And I just wanted to get it where I could at least, now I can at least drive it out of the shop, because I hate pushing stuff, because there's a hill up there. That's where I got run over by the red 2500 trying to move a vehicle up the hill by myself, and I became a speed bump and got a nice plate in my hand. So I try not to, it just, now I'm a little more paranoid and cautious about trying to take stuff up the hill. But so it's always nice to have it where you can pull it in and out. I've been looking for wheels for this thing, and it's crazy because it seems like the cost on these trucks is really falling, but the wheels and tires seem to be more expensive than they were when I when I was looking, but I mean, these look hideous. Look how far out they stick under the truck. I don't know what these come off, but I mean, they're dual pattern 6-lug, but I've been trying to find a set of wheels just because, I'd like to have a matching set, obviously. And I don't know which ones I want to get, or which ones, well, obviously the ones that I can find for the cheapest price. But some 18s or 20s or something. I don't really want to do, the one, pretty much snowflakes, and a lot of those are just well played out. So I don't want to get those, but if I can find a set for a decent price, then I'll buy them. So then I can get it together as a matching set and don't have to worry about these hideous things. So I got the little pigtails EV6 connectors, so I got those soldered on and got those finished up. That was one thing I was waiting on, was the connectors, because for some reason I had 3 and I used one of these connectors for my little bench rig setup thing, where I have a spray the brake cleaner and then hook that up to my impact battery, and then I've got a little window switch and I trigger it to spray it and make sure that they got a good pattern and at least flow and they're not just stopped up. So I just ordered a set of pigtails because I really don't like the adapters, because the ones that plug into the Multec and then plug into the EV6 are just so long, and I just don't like the extra connection point. So I just like to solder and heat shrink them or tape them. In this instance, I kind of taped them on this installation, but I got the mat pulled through, because typically it's back here. I just gave it a tug and it reaches. And since this is a Trailblazer 1 bar, it does have the correct parameters for this, which I double checked all that. And the coil packs and plug wires, got them on, got my dipstick tube in. And then after all that, the starter keeps clicking, and it was doing it in the 69, but I thought it was just loose connect. I don't know. Anyway, so now I'm probably gonna have to end up buying a starter, because it's just clicking, and you just got to keep bumping it and clicking it until it goes off, and that's kind of annoying. As long as it eventually cranks up, it's not a problem. But that one time it doesn't is a problem, because this one's not a stick shift and you can't roll it off and dump the clutch. But yeah, so it's coming together pretty good. I'm excited. Oh, another thing was a transmission mount. I got it in there, and it picked the engine up, because the one that I had on there was a little bit shorter. It was actually the one from the 69. So I had bought a cross member, a double hump cross member, and came with the mount and everything. It was a Transadapt, I believe. And I thought it looked a little short, and then when I got it in, it looked like it was hanging back some. So got that on. So now I need to go get a radiator Monday. See if they got the long one for the electric fans, so I can get those hooked up. I need to grease the ball joints. Don't let me forget to do that. And then I've got to put a fuse in here, because this doesn't have power if there's not a fuse right there. And for some reason, all my fuse boxes, I have like 7 fuse boxes over there, and they're all the newer ones. So I thought that I had another one of these, but I need to see if I can find a maxi fuse to put in there. But I like how it wires up. It fits in there nice and factory with the fan harness, and then comes down, and then the green one right there goes to the blue 42, And then the other one, like I say, I've got to watch my other video and remind myself how I did that, because one time I did it, it did something with the it wouldn't turn on the compressor, and then if you commanded it on, like with HP tuners or something like that, it would come on, but it was pulling just enough from it where it wouldn't allow it to turn on. So I had to wire it back to something underneath the box. It's not bolted on, because I'm hoping that I can get with Michael and get that other front clip for a couple $100, because he was right. These had some pretty good dents in the fenders. Right there, you can probably see it. And I'm no body man. If I do body work, I actually make it worse than it was. So I don't know. I don't have the touch. I mean, I'm touched, but I'm not gifted in that area. But there's a pretty good dent right there. So he was telling me that that front end is like the same two-tone and everything, and it's a really nice clip. So might try to go down there this week and get that clip before, get it while I can. Got all this stuff back together. I don't know if that was on there in the last video. I don't remember. I slept since then. But drive shaft's in, shifter's hooked up, all the wiring's done. So it should be ready to go with it once I get the throttle hooked up, and then get my radiator there. Then I'll be able to drive it down the road some. And like I say, I need to look and see what gear ratio it is. I hope it's a 373. But I couldn't read the RPO code in the glove box, and then this is my ECU because it was already licensed, and I didn't want to pay another $100 to license it. So there's that. And I assume it's probably dog-legged. I mean, why wouldn't it be? It's a two-wheel drive Chevrolet. I'm sure it is dog-legged. But and then I got another cluster because this one's stuck on 100. So I was looking at that and figured that was probably going to be problematic. So fortunately, I had another one for that. So I'll get that in there, and then I'm missing this seal piece there and the kick panel on that side. So maybe while I'm checking on the radiator, I'll see if they have any of that. But got a couple more pieces back here, the A-pillars. Oh man, I probably should have put that bell housing in. But yeah, so that's about that. Almost ready to go. Almost ready for its first test drive. So I'm excited about that. It sounds, you always got to hear it uncapped, the nice loud cadence of the cam, and it's always fun to hear one crank up uncapped. So anyway, that's the update on this thing for now. Like I say, next time hopefully it'll be a driving truck.